are there any mentors or individuals that, you know, who have significantly changed or influenced your life?
So I've always wondered if a role model and a mentor is the same, because a mentor is someone who molds and guides you, and a role model is someone you look up to.
Well, you can answer both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my father was both.
Okay.
I used to look up to him.
Yeah.
I was in awe of him.
Yeah.
You know, usually अगर कोई आपको छोटे से आप बच्चे हो और आप स्कूल जाओ और सब आपको कहे वो तुम्हारे अब्बू जेल में है, हा 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 हा.
Yeah.
You'll get embarrassed, you'll take a back step.
Yeah.
But मेरा जवाब होता था मेरे अब्बू जेल में क्योंकि तुम लोगों के बाप बुज़दिल हैं.
Yeah.
Or you know, like first grader.
Yeah.
And what's worse?
Yeah.
Your dad being in jail or your dad being a coward? Now their curiosity would awaken. So they'd be like, what do you mean? I'd be like, my father is fighting for your children.
Yeah.
He's not even fighting for me. He's fighting for your children.
Yeah.
Because your fathers are cowards and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I was so in awe of him. There was no confusion why he went to jail. You know, मुझे कोई story नहीं बताई जाती थी. बताया जाता था तुम्हारे अब्बू हक के लिए लड़े. हमेशा मुझे बताया जाता था. My mother would tell me कि he could have had a better life. He could have had a different life. He had a better life.
Yeah.
He gave it up to do this. तो अगर मैं उसकी बीवी होते हुए एक्सेप्ट करती हूँ तो तुम चाहे फर्स्ट ग्रेडर हो या 7 साल के हो या जो यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट दिस यू हैव टू बी प्राउड ऑफ हिम यू हैव टू बी प्राउड बिकॉज ही डजंट नीड दुनिया की इनकरेजमेंट
बिल्कुल
बट जो अपने करीब वाले होते हैं ना उनका जो प्यार होता है इट कैन लॉन्च यू
अपार्ट फ्रॉम द थिंग दैट हैपेंड आई थिंक दैट इज द मोस्ट प्रोबब्ली डिफाइनिंग moment of your life that actually personally shaped your journey. Would you say that? Of course it is.
One would think that, but it's not.
Okay.
When my daughter was born, and when my sons were born, पहला तो चलो हिट होता है, दूसरा का अपना हिट होता है, तीसरे का फाइनेंशियल हिट भी होता है. So you really have to put yourself in perspective. So anything that's ever happened, the 2 times in my life that I felt there was like an awakening. The first time was when I lost my father and I buried him.
Of course.
I had this overwhelming sense of responsibility to take care of my mother and my brother and my sister. And I love them a lot and you know, they're adults and take care of themselves. And I feel like मेरी ज़िंदगी की सबसे बड़ी कमी ये है कि, you know, I can't like just take care of them. Like they just sit at home and relax while I just make everything happen for them. You know what I mean? But I can't do that. And that's amazing too, that they're responsible, grown-up adults and whatever. But it was a defining moment for me in terms of like this overwhelming change in my character where I felt this responsibility. And of course, the second one I'm telling you is my kids. Because whatever I thought before, my life changed when I held these little things. They're like this big when you hold them.
Like the other day I was in Dubai and I had ordered some wings and I was carrying a box of wings like this. And suddenly I'm like, I feel like I need a baby of my own. I need to experience that unconditional love. And so
wings and love.
I don't know, it was weird.
By the way, at least my daughter ka will say, "Chalo, I can understand the dog love."
I think the way I was holding it, so I was like, So anyways, Shehbaz, as someone who has experienced challenging circumstances, how do you approach adversity and maintain resilience?
Well, I personally hope no one ever has to experience the kind of adversity that I had to experience. I think मेरे हमारे वालिदैन हमेशा हमारे दिमाग में डालते हैं कि एक इंसान के लिए सबसे मुश्किल चीज़ अपनी औलाद को दफनाना है. मगर मेरे लिए आज तक सबसे मुश्किल चीज़, और अल्लाह ये इम्तहान किसी को ना दे, अपने वालिद साहब को ही दफनाना था. I guess the circumstance, the way that I had to bury him. It was difficult. Then breaking this mold of who I was. बिकॉज मैं बड़ी एक प्रिविलेज ज़िंदगी रहता था और मैं एक सोसाइटी में रहता था, एक रूटीन में रहता था. मेरे वालिदैन ने बड़ा पूरी ज़िंदगी दोनों ने बहुत काम किया था कि आई लिव्ड इन द कंफर्ट इन द बबल दैट आई लिव्ड इन. बट यू नो कुछ लोग कहते हैं मोल्ड और cocoon और आई डोंट नो, बट फॉर मी इट वाज जस्ट torn apart. You know, one minute my eyes closed and I was in this privilege, and then the next time my eyes opened and I was in a place that even the least privileged people in the world will say that we are better off than this. And that's difficult, and you really have to try and find some meaning in your life. And that's why I tell you, I'm lucky that I found Allah. If I didn't have this legacy, जो मैं आपको बता रहा था क्लास 1 में, मुझे पता था मेरे वालिद साहब जेल क्यों गए, and how proud I was of it. उसी तरह जब ये लोग मुझे कहते थे कि तुम्हें हमने अगवा किया और टॉर्चर कर रहे हैं क्योंकि जो आदमी तुम्हारा बाप था, तो पहले तो दर्द होती है,
of course.
पहले आप डरते हो, फिर आप रोते हो, फिर आपको शर्म आती है, मगर ये सब गुजरने के बाद आप अपने 2 पैरों पे खड़े होते हो, और जब एक बार आप खड़े हो जाओ, that is standing up to the face of adversity. Someone who is continuously telling you that the worst that is happening to you is because of the man that your father was, and you finally get up and say, no, this is not the worst that's happened to me. This is the worst that's happened to you. For me, this is the best thing. If you're doing this to me because of the man that my father was, I couldn't be prouder, so do what you can. And you find, you know, I'm not that man, and I'm not a very strong guy. I'm just...
Neither am I, so...
But to feel that strength, that no one can break you, even though physically anyone can, you know, it's a strength. And I guess that's the only place that I had the stories of my father, his legacy, his sacrifice, and then the lessons from the Quran and the strength that only Allah can give a human being.
So we're going to get the energies up, and we're going to do a rapid fire round with you.
Oh, I'm so bad at this. She just did one with me, and I confused her for somebody else. Oh.
Okay.
Bless
so
me.
these are just fun questions, light questions, you know, and you have to answer them rapidly.
Okay. What's the timer? Because I have a problem as well. Now, if it's not intelligent, it can be really from a place you didn't expect.
That's fine. Like you have like 5 seconds, I feel like.
Okay, fine.
So, movies or books?
Movies.
What's your guilty pleasure movie?
I can't believe I said that. I'm an author.
But I know that you're a fan of Marvel movies, actually. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
What's your favorite superhero?
Unless you talk about the original Batman movies or the Christian Bale movies.
Christian Bale movies, yes.
As something that's continued, the Marvel universe is...
I agree. I totally agree. So who's your favorite superhero out of all the universes?
Iron Man. Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
Like the way he says, I'm
You know,
Iron
I got
Man.
the whole dress and I dressed up as him on Halloween as well. So it was very, very cool. Like, every time I pressed a button and it was like Shehbaz, and I was like, back from Afghanistan.
Do your children say, I love you 3000?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I have that I love you 3000 with
I like that.
I always leave them a note, I love you 3000.
Yeah.
I feel like that it's a beautiful thing that Tony Stark said, but it's a beautiful thing to say to your kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone you love.
Yeah, and the sentiment that they created was like really
it was
touching.
Too much, when he left in...
Yeah, exactly.
मेरा भाई आज तक he's a grown 38-year-old. कहता है he's coming, आ रहा है, वापस लाएंगे. I'm like मर गया है, bro.
I'm feeling that too. Yeah. I think उन्होंने अभी recently कह दिया कि he's not coming back.
Yeah, and Shariar is like he's lying. I was like, that's the producer of Marvel. He doesn't know anything. I was like, who does?
Yeah. But if you could describe your life using a movie title, what would it be?
Midnight Express.